Today's video will be taking a look at Cad Bane, based upon his appearance from Season 2 of the Clone Wars, and this figure was released during the Shadows of the Dark Side packaging around 2011. So this is the updated and second release of Cad Bane that we got at the time. The first release was pretty decent for what it is. I don't think it gets enough credit for what it is, and that will get its own review as well. It might already be up on the channel if you're watching this. But this one definitely took Cad Bane to the next level. In fact, I'll just do a quick comparison between the two here. The first release and the second release. And as you can see, there's a huge difference. Both have their likes and dislikes about them, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. So a little history about this action figure. I actually did not get this particular Cad Bane until about 2017 or so. I recall seeing them in stores at the time, and I already had the original Cad Bane. I've had this one ever since it debuted. So I thought at the time, well, I don't really need another Cad Bane. And a couple years go by and I realized that, hey, you know, this is a really good looking Cad Bane. He fits in with the realistic looking action figures really nicely. And I was wanting to expand my Clone Wars collection a little bit more. And of course, he has Todo-360 here. So I figured, well, I'll go ahead and get him. And I think I only paid maybe $20 free shipping, brand new for him. So I thought, well, that's not too bad of a deal for this action figure. And I'm glad I have it. It's really nice. Like I mentioned, he does fit really well with the realistic looking action figures, similar to like Embo and even Pre-Vizsla to an extent. Seems like during this era, the Shadows of the Dark Side packaging, a lot of the Clone Wars action figures had a touch of realism to them, and I think this action figure is no exception. And even now with the Book of Boba Fett, Cad Bane that's out, and with the Black Series one even, I still think this one holds up very nicely compared to all those, and it could arguably be the best Cad Bane that we've gotten still. So let's just go ahead and dive into the figure. So I think this one is much more robust compared to the first one. Although I will say, probably the one thing I don't like about this action figure compared to the first one is this hat is usually extremely loose on him. And oftentimes it doesn't want to stay in the place. Although it seems to be staying in place pretty well now, but oftentimes I tip him over or something and it falls off. But I do like how it has a little bit of that brow on his hat. You can conceal his eyes if you wanted to, something like that. He has that very scowled expression. And nice detailing in his clothes. See all his gadgets nicely. He has this pouch here, which is its own separate piece. It doesn't house anything. It's not like the Airborne Trooper where you can put a pistol in it. And he has his holsters for his pistols. And then he has his pants. And then he has his jet propulsion launchers there. As for his trench coat here, the bottom part of it is soft goods. Not your typical soft goods, though. It kind of has a little bit of a leather look to it. But it's totally just cloth. And of course his jacket is plastic. In terms of their articulation, he does have a ball joint in the head. Nice range of motion there. He does have hinged shoulders and hinged elbows. And swivel wrist there. And swivel waist. Swivel hips. And hinged knees and no articulation ankles. Which isn't that big of a deal really. I've never really had a problem with this action figure standing on its own. Looks like he has his... I'm not sure if that's part of his belt or if it looks like it's ammo wrapped around his waist there. It looks pretty good. Weapons and accessories. Of course, he has his standard pistols. I think it's pretty much the same exact pistols as these ones here. Well, actually, they're not. They are a different sculpt. You can see this one's a little more bulkier compared to those ones. And they fit pretty good in his hands. Mostly, that is. Let's see here. Yeah, with some nice poses. That looks really good there. I forget exactly what Cad Bane is based off of, but I'm pretty sure it is from the Fistful of Dollars movies with Clint Eastwood. And even if it's not, I still think that's a great comparison between the two. For other accessories, I guess you can consider Todo-360 here as an accessory. Now, I have his head kind of wonky like that because he's extremely top heavy. All the weight on him was up in his head and nowhere else really. And if you don't have his head in a position like that, he's just going to be doing that all the time. And unfortunately, there's no way you can put a stand on him unless you have sticky tack. And I don't have any sticky tack, and I've never really dived into that so much. I'm kind of skeptical of sticky tack because I feel like that would wear the paint off, both for the figure and on whatever shelf it's on, especially if it's on there for a long period of time. I don't know if that would happen or not. I've never really seen anybody mention anything like that, but I just have that suspicion that it might end up being the case. Especially for action figures, sometimes the paint quality on it's not very good. And I don't really want to risk ruining the paint job, even if it is on the foot. So for Toto here, despite being extremely top heavy, he is a nice action figure, or accessory I should say. There's really not much to him, and the only articulation here is in his head. Can't move his arms or his legs at all. I suppose you could prop him up against something. Usually I have him standing like that with Cad Bane, and that looks pretty good. It's that symbol on the side of his head there. Nice yellow eyes. Then, of course, the stand and the die. Same thing that we've been getting. Then the card here, Cad Bane. And nice image from the Holocron Crisis, I'm pretty sure, at the beginning of Season 2. I really like those episodes as well. I think those might be in my top 10 favorite Clone Wars episodes. Like the lore behind it and the subject matter. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that card. Got a whole collection of these at this point. And we'll do a quick comparison with the other Cad Bane. So you can see he is a little bit shorter and a little skinnier compared to the other one. This one has black pants, while the updated one has more of a navy blue dark pants. Holsters are much different as well. They're part of the leg on the original. And of course he has a lot less detailing, although the tubes are much more prevalent on his arms there compared to this one. And that's another thing too, is the tubes he has around his cheeks there. Those are allegedly to help him breathe on planets outside of Duros. So you can see the tubes are a little bit different as well between the two. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about this Cad Bane. Would I recommend him for your collection? I would. If you can only have one Cad Bane for your collection between these two, I suppose it doesn't really matter which one you get. I think they're both good in their own way. So I suppose it just comes down to whatever your personal preferences, or if something's within your budget. I don't think either one of these are extremely expensive. It's been a long time since I've looked them up. I know at least the one here on the right, the original one, that saw its fair share of repacks throughout the Clone Wars line, so at least throughout the 2009 to 2013 range or so, it was very easy to find and very cheap, no matter where you went. And like I said, I didn't get this one until 2017, and I only paid $20 in free shipping. Whether or not that's still the case, I'm not sure, but I doubt it's a whole lot more from that. I mean, I have seen some go for outrageous prices every now and then, but if you stay on the hunt for it, you might find a good deal every now and then. So between the two, it just comes down to your personal preference. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for plenty more in the future. There will be lots more to come. And if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate your support. And check out the links in the description as well. Thanks for watching.